Welcome to the dumbest smart guy podcast on the planet. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast.
Yuppers. That is correct. You heard it right. The dumbest smart guy podcast on the fucking internet today. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast. And as usual, I'm Josh. I'm here today with Adam.
What is up, my mammals?
Oh, and we have this is episode number fucking 18, by the way. So
Getting close to that landmark 20th episode.
The landmark 20th episode. You know, once all of the podcasts have hit 20, we should do some sort of, celebration. Like a celebratory. You know what we should do? We should launch a new podcast to celebrate, to talk about our other podcasts. That's what it'll be. It'll be the podcast. What if we just called it like the meta podcast, where it's just us talking about the other podcast? Anyways. So today we have, I think we have this is going to be a very, right up my fucking alley episode with fucking what we're going to talk about.
All right.
Just because, obviously, if you remember the ice wall incident, all right, I am a bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And the main event for the evening is going to be basically, why the fuck are all these billionaires building fucking bunkers and shit?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So, but first, I did want to talk about an interesting piece of, I don't know what the word is, global news. Well, I think it's a globally impactful story, but it's basically Venezuela telling this very small country that they share a border with, Guyana, whatever the fuck you say it, telling them
Guyana,
hey, my Guyana, basically telling them that, hey, there's this really fucking oil-rich spot that, is in your area, but we own it now. Just FYI.
How did that come across? Did they just announce that within their government? They're like, you know what? Let's make a proposed bill.
That's actually what they did. Is they basically did like a bill. Well, I don't know what they would call it. It's like a referendum, maybe, I guess. Yeah. And they did this referendum. They all voted and said, hey, should we annex this area? And they were all agreed, yes, we should. Undisputed or unopposed. Whatever the number was to zero in favor of that. And it's like, wait a minute. It's not. It's if our Congress in the U.S. decided, hey guys, we want to take Newfoundland from Canada. Yeah, hey, let's vote, and we vote, and then we say, oh hey Canada, by the way, we just voted, so like now we own Newfoundland, and then they go, hey, wait a minute, but that's our thing, guy. You can't do that.
It's just as arbitrary as any other country deciding to put a flag on a piece of land and saying it's theirs.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's probably worse than that, because at least if you go to the spot and put the fucking flag on the land, you actually went there and you did something about it. So, I mean, shit. But anyways, so I thought it was interesting because one of the funny things that I found out about fucking Venezuela is that they have the largest oil reserves on the planet. Not even the Middle East.
More so than
Yeah, they beat everybody. They have the most. And fuck. Damn it. Fucking somebody came online. I should have fucking put my phone on silent. Anyways.
Wow.
So now I gotta get chops now. Anyways, so they have this massive oil reserve. Mm-hmm. And they already have the most, and now they want more. The country next to them, Guyana, is fucking small. It is, and I just wanted to be, it's the third smallest sovereign state in South America. Okay, by area. It's also the second least populated state. So,
so can you give us a scale in which compare that to the U.S. How big is it in land or in surface area or square miles?
So in square, I don't know. Do they do it by miles there? Okay, so it's 83,000 square miles. Okay, is how big Guyana is. Let's just do a state. What's the smallest state in the USA? Let's just see what that is. Rhode Island. Rhode Island's 1,200 square miles. Okay,
so it's like 8 Rhode Islands.
Yeah, but
maybe California would probably be more apt.
Maybe
comparison.
Let's see, California square miles. God damn it. California square miles are 155,000. So it's like half of California. But in terms of population, there's only 80,000 people that live in the entire fucking country.
Good Lord.
So it's essentially half the size of California, and less people live in that entire area than do in just the city that we live in.
80,000 people to occupy would be half of California.
Okay, in terms of population density, it's the 11th least densely populated state on the planet, on planet Earth. It is so just, there's just nobody there.
So your neighbors might be 10 miles or maybe 30 miles.
Realistically, they could be further. They could be, who knows how far. And so their military. So when I was curious to see, because okay, obviously this is over oil. So obviously that means military action will be involved
yes.
regarding this. So Venezuela has a pretty decent military. They're in the top 20 in terms of military power, I guess, of the world. Now, Guyana has just as a scale, they only have like 3,500 people in their entire military. They have essentially like a battalion, and that's it. Whereas Venezuela has several 100,000 people in its military. The Guyana military has one helicopter. It's one transport. It has not even an attack helicopter. It's just like to transport people. They have basically no offensive air force capability whatsoever. I think they don't even have a navy. Basically, it's bad, and they're all essentially, I guess, reservists in the way their military works. So they're gonna be fucked when it comes down to.
And this is over a territory within their borders.
Yeah, it's within their borders that they've owned. But them and Venezuela have always had this contentious issue with it. It's kind of like China and Hong Kong, or China and fucking Taiwan, except it's connected technically to both countries. Mm-hmm. So Guyana, I don't think they have the technological capability to actually do anything about this oil reserve. I don't, or this oil area, this oil rich area. I don't think they have the means to pull it out of the ground, which I don't know if that makes it better, because, well, then at least Venezuela is going to turn it into oil. They're going to do something with it. Whereas, yeah, you can own this land, but I mean, shit, you ain't doing nothing with it.
Well, I guess in their defense, if it's their territory and if they like their way of life, and if the oil is going to disrupt their environment, of course they would want it to just remain intact, the way they've always known it to be. But at the same token, it's a missed opportunity to harvest, extract oil.
And here's the other thing that really gets me. Venezuela's a rich country in terms of South American countries, because they're...
Well, the government is.
Well, the country itself, the government of the country has a lot of money, because obviously they're an oil-producing entity. So they make a bunch of money. Why don't they just buy it? Just say, hey, you guys are small. You probably don't have... I don't know. I don't even know if Guyana's GDP ranks on the list, because it doesn't... It basically doesn't exist.
It's probably zero.
I'm telling you, it's close to nothing. So why not just say, hey, let us have this. We'll give you guys fucking whatever, 20 million, $100 million. I don't know how much it is. Whatever, give them $100 million. You know you're going to pull billions in oil out of this. Give them a fucking $100 million up front and then just say, hey, we'll kick you back 5% of every fucking thing we make.
Yeah, that seems
and
appropriate.
Then there's no fucking way that they're not going to be pissed at that. They're going to say, oh shit, this is fucking great. This is a great opportunity. We can get upgrades to our huts that people live in. Essentially, we can help everybody out. We can do fucking great.
Yeah,
That's the optimistic version. But the realistic version is, oh cool, now we can have more money for ourselves, so we and the government can be rich and fuck everybody else. They can still live in villages. That's probably what would end up happening.
Yeah,
but
the fact that they drew up papers, some dumbass papers, like with this. We believe we are entitled to these lands. They drew up the papers. They could have just invaded and cut the bullshit.
Right. Well, now this just came out 2 days ago. They've both agreed, quote unquote, to not use military force against each other. Now
they'll use peacekeeping forces.
Right? Yes. Yeah.
Hey.
Wait. This is just a peacekeeping force, man. We're just here to keep the peace. Yeah. We're not here to fight anybody. We're just here to make sure
we're just enforcing peace.
Yeah. Through violence.
Yeah.
You know, nothing wrong with that. So I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I think that's completely ridiculous. You mean Venezuela's tentatively agreeing not to attack them because Guyana would just die. They would just be done. There would be no.
Yeah, that would be the last we
That'd be the last. Yeah, we heard of
Guyana.
it. Then they would just become Venezuela. They become another state in Venezuela. So I don't know where this is exactly going to go. I'm sure Venezuela will eventually fucking take this plot of land and then they'll just fucking call it a day. Anyways, that was basically all I had on that, and I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was just an interesting topic. So anyways, now let's get into the meat and potatoes, I guess, of this episode, which is going to be, why the fuck are all these these billionaires fucking buying underground shell, spending millions of dollars?
The millions.
Buying these underground fucking bunkers and stocking up and all this shit.
Yes. One instance that we know of is Mark Zuckerberg purchasing land in Hawaii and creating an underground bunker that should theoretically have all the amenities that one would need in order to survive. I guess that would include some kind of water reservoir.
Yeah.
Along with artificial lighting so you don't go nuts.
Right.
Some kind of sustainable agriculture in some way that would allow you to harness food underground and stuff and such. So I don't know, just really interesting. It almost feels like they're telegraphing where they think the world is going to end up, as if space travel was already kind of concerning, that Elon Musk already wants to colonize Mars, or maybe even just, sure, the space exploration is what is being said, but colonizing Mars to me signals that they already think. Maybe I'm making an assumption, but my speculation is that by conquering Mars, we're already heading towards a scenario where they think the Earth is doomed, and maybe it might be decades out from now, but they're already planning like as if
the exit strategy.
Yeah, the end game.
And this is where we get into the conspiracy kind of part of this.
Yes.
Because obviously the people who are multi-billionaires and the really uber elite rich people, they communicate with each other. They know shit before fucking we do. So sure, do they know what's fucking coming in the future? And are they just like, shit, we need to just be ready because there's some shit that's about to go down, or some shit's going to go down. And this is the thing that sucks too, is who knows when the fuck this is going to happen? Who knows if it's something that's going to happen, like you said, maybe 10, 20, 30 years in the future? Or maybe this is something that's going to happen in a few years. Who fucking knows? And we have these weird things that you kind of just see and put together. For example, okay, Bill Gates, he's a very fucking wealthy individual, owns 242,000 acres of farmland. He is the number one private farm, the number one owner of private farmland in the United States. Additionally, he's also the 49th largest landowner in general
in the world.
In general. So he's the number one. He owns the most farmland at anybody, and he owns the 49th most amount of land of anybody else.
So he might
regular land in general.
And he could supersede countries, fucking people.
Well, I mean,
what is the list in comparison to? Like, is it just people that own land?
So
is it companies?
So that was private land ownership. So that includes companies.
Okay,
that includes anybody who's not a government agency.
Okay.
So he's the biggest farmland owner in the United States by far.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important because if you look at countries that struggle when they have issues, mainly it's usually related to food. It's usually food insecurity or whatever they're calling it now. And that signals to me, well, if he knows that there's going to be something happening, and again, we've talked about kind of a little bit of this before, but you know, it could be something such as an EMP from the sun. I mean, goddamn, right now, there's that fucking hole that they just found in the sun. It's just this giant fucking hole that's the size of 60 Earths that's just spewing radiation, and it's pointed directly at us. Now, luckily, they say that the magnetosphere, or whatever it's called, is going to take care of pretty much most of that and deflect it all. But, I mean, we don't really know what the fuck's going to happen. So, sure, if the effect of essentially that being a massive EMP, if that wipes out electricity, if there's something that, shuts off the grid for, basically it would be forever. Because if you didn't have the technology to create the technology, it would take you forever to recreate it again and then deploy it on a mass scale like it is now. So we could effectively say if that were to happen, you could probably say for the rest of at least our lifetime, we would never have electricity again. It'd probably be 40 or 50 years before electricity would come back in the measure in which it's used now or relied upon. So if that's the case, then what do you need? Well, what do you need to survive?
Food.
You need food
and
water,
shelter.
and shelter. That's it. So if you have those things, and if you have the largest amount, when society does start coming back together after whatever the initial collapse would be, and you own all that, well, now you become the number one most influential person in the country because you control the flow of food. You control everything. You control whether people eat or whether they starve. And, just like they say about, there's this old joke about, they heard you talking bad about the government, so they turned off your chip to buy fucking food or whatever. So this guy's talking shit at a bar, and he's like, oh yeah, and then he goes to scan his chip to buy another round of beer, and it doesn't work because the government shut it off because they heard him talking shit. So it's the same thing. If you are a private landowner and you control the food supply, well, you don't like the way that I'm doing things. Well, then I guess you can just not eat. Oh, you don't want to submit and do compliance with what it is I'm requiring that you do to get this food? Okay, cool. Then I guess you can starve. Good luck. And then, well, what are you going to do? You're just going to starve. Or you're going to comply. That's kind of how it's going to work. So there's a lot of weird shit that's been going on lately in terms of I didn't see the movie yet, but I've seen clips of it. It's that movie on fucking Netflix that was sponsored by Michelle and Barack Obama. It was, or I should say, executive produced by them. I don't know if sponsor is the right word, but
they have their hands on it.
Yeah, they have their hands in it, and It's called Leave the World Behind. And it's basically a movie about the end of the world. Like, it's about, there's some catastrophe, some collapse that happens, there's a catastrophe, and then the aftermath of what happens, essentially. I should probably watch it just so I can fucking talk about it. Maybe we should do it on the Movies TV podcast. We should fucking talk about it. But why would you, as someone who is essentially one of the most powerful people on the planet, because you were the most powerful motherfucker on the planet, you were the president for fucking 8 years. So even though you're not that anymore, you still maintained some of that fucking influence, right? So why would you do this unless, maybe this is there's that old fucking saying about, if you want to get into the weird down the rabbit hole, it's like those secret societies, they have to telegraph what they do before they do it, so they don't have to, we don't have any bad karma after this, because we told you guys, we said this shit was going to happen for you to get ready, and you died, so it's not our fault. You've got shit like that, this shit like this happening. You've got weird shit like the Georgia Guidestones popping up, that this has been for a while, but I think somebody actually just recently destroyed them because they were like, fuck these things. But it's just like these big ass fucking concrete pillars that somebody built and no one knows who did it in Georgia, and they basically just have these like new commandments on there that say, to maintain harmony with the earth. And one of them, though, is to keep the world's population under 500 million, right? Well, there's 8 billion fucking people right now, or thereabouts, maybe 9, getting closer to that. So you would be effectively reducing the world's population by about 90 fucking percent, or thereabouts. Maybe closer to 80. But that's a lot if you wanted to fucking, maintain that. So as we see all these uber rich people doing these things and making these bunkers and essentially setting themselves up to survive whatever calamity is going to happen, which makes me think it's not going to be some fucking asteroid from space that they're preparing for, because, that's just going to kill everybody and no one's going to live. Everybody's going to die if something like that were to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're doing this for something like that. I think they're doing this for something that is going to be man-made, I guess, for lack of a better term. And this very well could be the modern version of royalty trying to save itself from the revolution, right? Let them eat cake, that whole thing. Marie Antoinette, they don't have any bread. I can't let them eat cake. Let them eat cake, right? And then, the fucking French Revolution happens, and then they kill all the royalty because they're like, fuck these assholes. So obviously us, the peasants, throughout the world are getting fucking upset at the level of wealth that has been created and the unaffordability that exists for us right now.
Yeah, and I think so two things.
Yeah.
I'll start with what you're already talking about.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, shit, dude. Let's not pretend to, like, we're the people, like, in California or even just the United States in general, how we're supposedly, we have to maintain our electricity use, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, we can't use our electricity to the point in which it's excessive, right?
Right, yeah.
But that rule does not apply to millionaires or billionaires that fucking have private properties that are probably mega mansions and shit, but also like their businesses as well. Yeah. Amazon, the company, right?
Right, yeah.
They probably use a whole bunch of fossil fuels, and they probably do a number of carbon emissions. And I mean, that's like one of the few examples I can think of. So these people that profited off of other people's labor and probably the number of things they've done damage to the earth in general, like, they all got to profit off of other people and doing all this damage and shit, and then they're gonna escape. They're escaping, and like, what the fuck is that, dude? I'm not fond of that idea. Instead of trying to create solutions for us in general, like humanity, they're running away
and hiding and letting the rest of us kill each other so that they can survive. I'll give you an example of that electricity thing like you're talking about, because before, when we lived in our apartment, my power's gonna probably get shut off because of this, but whatever, get fucked. When we lived in the other our apartment, we were in a different grid sector than we're in now. And dude, man, I'm telling you, when they would do those public safety power shutoffs, our shit would get shut off all the time. It would just be like, oh, sorry, too bad. Click, turn it off. Oh, yep, it's hot. Oh, sorry, too many people using electricity. We got to shut yours off. You're on the rolling blackout list. Here you go. When we moved here into this house, in the 5 almost years that we've lived here, I have not. I see those shits pop up all the time, and I figured out that we're on the same grid sector as the multi-million-dollar homes that are up there off of a certain area. Right.
Privilege.
And I don't live in the multi-million-dollar fucking area, but we're like, they must have tied them in when they built those to this grid sector instead of creating their own.
Yeah.
But that benefits me because I've never fucking had my shit shut off on any of those things once.
Yeah.
And I doubt it will. I think we would be the last fucking ones to ever get our shit shut off because we're on this sector with the multi-million-dollar homes. And they're going to shut them off dead last. And that's some of the shit that people get fucking pissed about is these assholes up here get to fucking have the electricity. Well, we have to suffer and fucking be hot and shit because it's 110 degrees and everybody's running their air conditioning. And then they tell us, hey guys, yeah, we know how many people live here and we know much electricity we need. And yeah, we charge you guys a shit ton of money, but we're trying to take as much profit as we can. So we're not going to make more fucking electricity. We're gonna cap it at what we got right now. So you guys just need to stop using it. You know, it's like, what the fuck, man? Build more fucking not generators. Build more fucking electrical plants. You can build more shit to increase the capacity of our electric grid. Because you're charging us that fucking the prices keep going up, and I'm telling you, it's not costing more money to create fucking electricity. They're just fucking pulling profit out, and that's fucking horse shit. And that's the type of shit that's, oh man, here you go. But you are going to escape when the judgment day happens of people finally have had enough when the power finally goes out.
Yeah.
And it's so fucked how fragile. I mean, that's the thing that I think, not to interrupt you, but we'll get to that in a minute. Continue your point.
Okay, so the other thing about Bill Gates buying, how much was it?
242,000 acres.
242,000 acres.
Damn near 250,000 acres.
I mean, obviously that requires some kind of foresight to know that in the future, if we are heading towards some kind of incident, that your priority would be to gather as much natural resources in order to create some kind of agriculture that you can harvest resources from, like food and who knows what else. But because we know that money's not going to matter once things come down to it.
Right.
It's going to come down to food and water.
Yeah.
Because we all know that. I mean, shit. I don't know. It's either 1% or 0.01% of the world's water is not seawater. It's drinkable water, right? So imagine. I mean, there's a ton of U.S. companies that own bodies of water, like Nestle.
Yeah.
Nestle owns water. I mean, fuck, the Coca-Cola company probably owns
everywhere.
So they already have the domain of these places and shit, and it's just like, fuck, man. What could we do about that? We're just sitting ducks, essentially. Like, we just have to wait for this to happen because we can't do anything about it. I mean, sure, you could build your own fucking bunker, like, 20 feet underground or 30 feet underground.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be what these guys have, which is probably going to have all the amenities that you need. But they're already planning decades in advance, dude. It's like, what the fuck?
Right. Well, and then it's going to have the supply of food. Because here's the problem. You could have a bunker all you want, but if you don't fucking have the ability to make food, your shit's going to run out eventually. That's primarily what's going to be the number one killer when something like this happens, is going to be lack of food. And people can stock up, you can have whatever, but eventually it's going to fucking run out unless you start making your own, because once the system gets shut off and no one's making more food, or the company, if Hostess isn't fucking making cupcakes to send out to the fucking store for your ass to eat, Nobody's there's no grocery stores anymore, right? That shit's over.
You know what's making me laugh a little bit is when it comes down to eating food, it's say that period of time where it's basically the apocalypse.
Yeah.
There's people around that I know that are picky eaters.
Oh, yeah.
And they only eat chicken nuggies or macaroni and cheese or something.
That's it.
Just basically crap. And I'm thinking, you guys are the first ones to go because you can't even.
Yeah.
So picky to eat, can't eat certain foods because I don't like it. You're good. You're as good as gone.
Yeah, you'll just starve to death. Because if you can't eat fucking rice and beans, because I mean, look, that's what most people are. That's stuff that lasts, and yeah, you can store a lot of it. So if that's what you got to get you through until you start, because that's what really most people should really be trying to do is have enough supply of food for maybe 6 to 12 months till you can start growing your own shit, until your shit that you grow starts sprouting.
Yes.
And is harvestable. So most people aren't fucking going to have that, though. Most people, that's one of the things, too, that's fucking interesting. Most people in the United States have a maximum of 72 hours of food in their house at any one given time. And that's the majority of people. That's 90% of Americans.
Or a week, yeah, like a week's worth of food.
Right, like between, but most people don't even have a week's. Most people have 3 days worth, and yeah, they might be able to ration that into a week if they're going to be smart about it. But as we know, most people aren't fucking smart about it. They'll just think, oh, it's cool, we can just do this. The grocery stores will come back on, and then realistically, you have those 72 hours, and then of course, people are going to loot the grocery stores. Okay, yeah, that's going to happen. So maybe you get a week. I say you get maybe about 7 to 14 days from an initial happening, whatever that happening may be, before society really, truly starts to break down. And that's the sweet spot that these billionaires with the bunkers, because that's plenty of time for you to get to your bunker. Once an event happens, oh, you know this is it. Cool. Let's get to the bunker. We got plenty of time before we start before there's random checkpoints of roving gangs that got together and decided they're gonna check everybody who drives through and see what they got and steal all their shit and then kill them. That won't happen for at least probably 14 days. So, you know, that's plenty of time to get to your bunker and be safe. And then once you're in the bunker, well, I got food that's a renewable supply. I got a fucking well water I'm attached to this that has fucking, this well will last for hundreds of years. Like, oh, I'm good. We're good. You know, we got air conditioning, fucking, you know, heating. Never have to go outside ever again.
I mean, I guess, but at the same token, that whole ecosystem that they live in, I mean, it can't be running 100%.
Oh, it's also
for years, right?
It's also fragile, just as our own system is. Our own general grid system is fragile. That small ecosystem, all it takes, if you're harvesting shit all it takes is for one germ that's unaccounted for to get into the crop and to give it disease and kill it. And then what are you gonna do? Now you got to start over. Now you got to fucking be like, ah, shit.
Or if your generators start malfunctioning, you can't do the maintenance.
Or if you're let's say you're using solar. Let's say you're being smart, because obviously you can't really use generators because you're gonna run out of gas eventually. Yeah, generators you could probably,
unless they have like a hydro.
If you had some kind of a hydro generator
turbine,
or some shit you're connected to, sure, maybe you could be. But again, that's going to require maintenance in and of itself. And sure, maybe you know how to do that, but what are you going to do when one of the fins fucking breaks off on the generator or something, and you can't go to the store and buy a new one? Hell, you probably can't. Maybe you'll have a couple in reserve, but hey, the shit's going to break eventually. And then when you run out, well, you don't have the capability to manufacture this kind of shit. So what are you going to do? Your shit's going to shut off.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there are, because I've seen a lot of low-tech, survival-ish kind of solutions for water, for food growth, for that kind of stuff. And I mean, really, it goes back to the old days. But you can't do that shit in a bunker. It's got to be fucking you got to be in the world. You got to be out and you got to have sunlight hitting shit. You got to have, you got to be outside with it. You can't be doing it in a bunker and expect it to produce what it should produce. And it doesn't really matter how many genetically modified fucking carrots you're growing. Eventually, shit's going to break down and you're not going to be able to grow them anymore.
Yeah.
And then you're fucked. And maybe all they need is 6 months before society comes back. If it's something where the power grid goes out and it's a temporary shutoff, or the internet goes out, or whatever, it's temporary. Let's say it just lasts for 6 months and then it slowly starts coming back on. Well, once shit starts coming back on, then society will begin to return to normal. But during that 6 months, after about 7 to 14 days, that's when we're going to start killing each other over resources. And that's what they're trying to survive. That's what I think the true purpose of the bunkers is, to basically survive the initial breakdown of society whenever this event happens. Because they're going to be in charge when society comes back. Because they're going to control everything. They're going to control the manufacture of food. And if everybody's hungry and you control the one thing that they need, people are going to comply. People are going to do what you say. And then you just become the government. And then, well, now you just become the dictator of whatever area you want to be in charge of because you have control of all the food.
I got 2 points to bring up. Number one. So there was this article that I sent you. I forgot who the author was. Let me double check.
Yeah.
So this author was writing an article about meeting with a number of billionaires, and I'm not sure. This person is an author. And his writing is of that vein of like an apocalypse scenario.
Yeah, it's Douglas Rushkoff.
Right. So these people were coming to him because he's something of an expert. And
yeah,
of course, the mindset of the billionaire is very much what you would believe that these people are concerned. They were asking questions like, oh, how do I control my security? Because they have people from like special ops, private security companies that are going to be in place for them. So they're asking like, how do I keep them in line and stuff like that? Like, how do I survive this scenario? How do I limit what I give to other people and stuff so that I'm not the one that ultimately dies because of this? It's like, it's everything that you imagine would happen in a zombie apocalypse.
Right. Yeah.
And the second thing, I lost the second thing. Oh, anyways,
to talk about the first thing you were talking about, while you're thinking about the second thing, if you ever,
I got it back.
Oh, good, give it to me.
All right, so now that we're talking about these guys coming above surface sometime after, the world falls apart, or presumably, like that would maybe be a scenario that plays out. So interesting enough, there was this company. It's called Flannery Associates. They're a bunch of tech billionaires that weren't known at the time, but they bought, I think, 55,000 acres in Solano County in California, Northern California. Farmable land, agriculture land, I guess. So this is me speculating. I mean, this is just me. We're just talking or whatever.
Yeah.
But that already kind of raises a concern that they were trying to withhold their identities. I mean, obviously, they were trying maybe to pay the least amount of money for the land they wanted to purchase from farmers and stuff.
Yeah.
But the fact that they wanted to hide it anyways, beyond that, I mean, shit. One of them includes like the co-owner of LinkedIn, but I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people from like Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
So what, like, does that seem concerning to you at all that these people want to raise an entire city or create a city in their own image with all the amenities, I guess you could say, with farmable lands and all that stuff, that tech billionaires want to get into, I guess, urban and city planning.
Yeah.
And like, how is the government going to work when they're the ones kind of orchestrating all that shit? Like, that to me is, it's weird. It's strange. Like, are they trying to plan for the future too, where, 70 years down the line, maybe their children or their legacy or the descendants of these people inherit a fucking city that they can control too? Because 55,000 acres. I mean, shit. Who the fuck knows how big that is? But if they can create a city, create a suburban area with farmlands and stuff, and they control it, like, what? I don't know. It's interesting. Like, why are they getting into the game doing this shit?
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about the first thing you're talking about real quick. The thing about this, they've got special ops guys doing their private security, and how do I keep them in line and not, and that's where we're going. I feel like this will turn into a form of feudalism, essentially.
It is, yeah.
Where the wealthy are going to be essentially the noble class, I guess. And then there's going to be the serfs or the peasants. And then you're going to have this warrior class that's in between, akin to the samurai or knights or whatever, right? And so the only thing that protecting the few, being the noble class, from the peasants, being the many, is the warrior class, essentially. Warriors. So come out and play. So basically, if the nobles don't have anything to over essentially the warrior class, then what would stop the warrior class from just fucking killing them and becoming the noble class, and also then keeping the serf class down? Because fuck it, we have the weapons, the training, and yeah, you got the shit. Well, we're just gonna take the shit from you, because what are you gonna do? And that's where I think it gets interesting. And this is how we will likely get warlord type scenarios.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, these guys, unless you go in your bunker, if you want to try to have some semblance of being in charge, there really isn't much stopping these guys from just killing the tech billionaire or whoever, and then just taking all the shit that they have and then putting it out there. So I really don't. This is like some supervillain shit. That's how you create a supervillain, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. If that's their mentality and not thinking of like, okay, because this is what the guy was trying to tell him, is like, you can't, there's no way to make that work, because you're essentially creating enemies in every corner.
Right.
So why aren't you thinking of how you can help people once that time comes? Like,
yeah, the way that you don't die
Yeah.
is to have people so fucking endeared to you
Yeah.
that they would be willing to die for you.
Yeah.
That's how, I mean, yeah, granted, listen, it will just become the noble, you'll become essentially like a king. And your reign of your area will depend on how well you fucking treated the serfdom and the quote unquote warrior class during this time.
Yeah.
And if you hoarded your resources and kept them and you didn't endear anyone to you, then it's going to be real easy for your dudes to just say, fuck this.
Mutiny.
Yeah, we'll just kill you and we'll take over and we'll spread the wealth to everybody, and then everyone will enjoy us and they'll accept our rule because we provide for them.
Yeah.
As back in the day when you had a good king or a good noble in the area, that was their job, was to provide for the peasants, essentially, to provide for them so that they stayed in line and didn't overthrow your bitch ass. That's basically the whole point. Is how you maintain your power, is you do as much as you can to the peasant. And again, we work more than the peasants class did back in the days. The peasant class worked like 2 days a week or 3 days a week at max. They had so many fucking holidays, they would just make up holidays to give the peasants days off. That's what they did. And now here we are, hundreds of years later from this system being popular, and we're in a worse position than fucking medieval fucking serfdom.
Indentured servants.
Essentially, yeah. And To go back to the thing where you're talking about money being worthless. Yeah, you're right. Money will be worthless. Gold will be, people that hoard gold, you're fucking stupid. That is the dumbest. That's a trick by the fucking ruling class to make you spend money on something that's fucking pointless when society collapses. Because yeah, sure, gold's maintained its value at its worst stuff, but I'm telling you right now, if I can't eat it, shoot it, or fuck it, I'm not trading for it. That's it. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to trade you some of my fucking ammunition or some of my food for some shiny pieces of fucking metal. That doesn't even fucking make sense. You're an idiot. I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, it'll be, I wonder if luxury will matter at all in the future, if billionaires will flaunt like having gold earrings or diamonds, if that will matter at that point, or if everybody's just more concerned with food.
Well, yeah. Well, again, and what's sad is in the initial looting that would take place after some sort of collapse, you will see the same shit get looted like it always does. You'll see televisions get taken. Motherfucker, we ain't got no power. Why are you looting TVs?
Or shoes.
Oh, God, shoes.
I got to rob in my Nike SBs, man.
Hey, man, you got to have the new Jordans to fucking,
commit crimes.
To commit crimes in. And I'm not against being stylish while committing crime. I mean, I just want to make that clear. I think that actually may be a must. You must remain your style while you're fucking out there committing crimes and shit. Okay, you have to maintain your independence. Yeah. Okay, until you get out of the matrix.
Yeah,
you don't comply. All right, but I do think, additionally, better use of your time would be stealing food or seeds or fucking something, robbing gun stores and whatnot. And honestly, the one luxury that I think will be worth trade in the aftermath will be the shit that's always been worth shit. It's going to be prostitution or quote unquote or / pornography. It's going to be alcohol. It's going to be tobacco. It's going to be guns. Because again, people are addicted to alcohol and tobacco and they'll do a lot for it.
Yeah, they will.
So if you have some and you got a guy who's itching for a drink or for a smoke, hey man, he might trade you a couple fucking boxes of ammo or a couple potatoes or what, I don't know, whatever.
You know what we need to do?
Just stock up on alcohol and fucking.
No. Well, yeah, I guess that too. You stock up on Playboys, old Playboys in print. Because
in print pornography,
it's gone.
Man, that's true.
There are gonna be a lot of horn dogs out there.
Oh yeah, and I mean, granted, most people will there probably will be a lot of raping going along with the pillaging, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But not everyone's capable of doing that. So those people are going to need some fucking some porn mags to jerk off to. So
yeah, I think a more just society might actually exist in the post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah,
because those people would be dealt with immediately.
Oh yeah,
with a mob mentality. I think if they find out, if anybody gets an air that you're a pedophile or you're a rapist,
you'll just be killed.
You're gone, dude. You're fucking dead.
Yeah,
there's no prison system, no nothing.
No, nothing. Yeah, because there is no prison system. It's just
dead.
We can't. No, literally, that whole saying of "take no prisoners" or whatever is because we can't, because we don't have anywhere to store them. Yeah. So we just kill everybody. That's what happens. All the people that are assholes just die.
I mean, I imagine if everybody's tired of everything by that point, nothing will be tolerated.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we're getting
scenario.
I think we're getting close to that just now in normal society, where people are just getting tired of shit, and this is gonna start going crazy. But the second thing what was the second thing you brought up about
Solano?
Oh, Solano. Yeah. Okay. So to go back to that is very interesting that a group of these billionaires.
You want me to list off the names real quick?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Let's hear who it is. Let's put it out there. I mean, obviously it's public information, but
yeah, this is an article off of I believe
breaking news or anything.
The Guardian.
Oh, The Guardian. That's a reputable source.
Let's see.
The Guardian.
Semeric.
Does it say who they like, where they work for, or what?
Yeah, 36-year-old Goldman Sachs.
Jesus, that makes sense.
Part of Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. Okay.
The group of backers include. Oh, sorry, maybe this guy wasn't included. The group of backers includes Reid Hoffman, the LinkedIn co-founder,
okay,
venture capitalist Michael Moritz, Lauren Powell Jobs, the founder of the philanthropic group Emerson. Wait, what? Philanthropic group Emerson Collective and wife of the late Steve Jobs.
Okay, so she's got a shit ton of money.
Mark Andreessen, the investor and software developer. Patrick and John Collinson, the sibling co-founders of the payment processor Stripe, and the entrepreneurs Daniel Gross and Nat Friedman. I don't know. They don't say what their thing is, but kind of a nice little cabal of like Silicon Valley people.
Yeah, that wanted to basically make their own fucking city.
So it's just concerning, dude, because Bill Gates, as you said, owns what amount again?
242,000 acres. So let's just call it 250,000.
These guys collectively own a fourth or a fifth of what this guy owns, Bill Gates.
Well, that's just the farmland that he fucking owns. I mean, he owns other shit too that you can't really fucking put a number on that, but that's just farmland.
Yeah.
So they only bought a fifth of that, and they were trying to do it as to make their own fucking city or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that stands now. I mean, or what happened with it? Did it say like, are they still trying to do it, or did they just say fuck it?
They have the land. They are in the process of, I guess meeting with the communities within the area, project planning, I guess, all that stuff. But I don't even know if they're going to do that. It could be just as simple as them saying, you know what, we lied and we just bought all this land. Now we're going to flip it and just.
Oh yeah, maybe.
It could be simple as that.
It could be.
But as far as I know, they're planning to build this city that will include everything one would need, jobs that I'm sure they're going to be coming up with. So I don't know, man. That's just very concerning, because if they control the government at all levels, or even the city itself at all levels, they know how everything works, all that stuff. And then we're talking about doomsday scenarios where billionaires are built. Like, who's to say those guys aren't building their own bunkers adjacent to the city,
or as part of the city,
right? So man. I don't know. There's weird coincidental things. I don't know if this is like a conspiracy theory so much as just kind of like observations that
weird shit that you see, that you observe. Yeah.
Again, this is just speculation from my part, or just observations more than anything. But
yeah, it's observations and then speculation.
Yeah.
And again, who knows what the real reason is behind all this shit? None of it looks good, though. None of it looks like this is just for a benign fucking happy-go-lucky reason. It looks as though these motherfuckers are getting ready for some shit.
Yeah.
And with the current state, I think the biggest threat that we face here, at least in the United States, is the electrical grid getting taken down. I think that we have the weakest fucking electrical grid that damn near, I don't know how we've survived thus far with it being as weak as fuck as it is, but I think that's something that's probably, and again, our electrical grid, is weak. I imagine most other countries, their electrical grid is also fucking weak. It's probably weaker. So I think that any little tiny thing that happens, a little extra large EMP from the sun, solar flare, hey man, that could wipe fucking some shit out. And it may not be something quote unquote man-made or on purpose, because the conspiracy theories point towards, oh yes, this is the elites crashing society so that then they can come and take control of whatever's left.
Yeah. First instance, not the first, but one of many incidences where that's happened. What was the scenario that happened with Hawaii that caused all those fires? It was a power company, right?
Right.
That provoked a
supposedly, allegedly. It was the power lines just caught, like a transformer blew and it caught the forest on fire, and then fucking it just spread out.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also the fucking conspiracy theory related to that about, the direct energy weaponry, where they were burning. You could see the line it was shooting, and it was skipping all the millionaires' houses. Like, it was just going around and catching. On concrete, it was just catching cars and shit on fire. Which fire doesn't fucking move like that. That's fucking insane. Mm-hmm. So who knows what's really fucking going on? Who knows if that's fucking part of the test as well? We're gonna blow up some electrical transformers to the point where now shit's not gonna work. And again, that's, to me, technology really is our fatal flaw that humanity in general is the reliance on technology and electricity. Because once that shit goes away, I don't think most people will know how to fucking survive.
We're soft.
Yeah, that's true. We are soft. We've become very soft. And I hope nothing. Listen, I hope nothing happens.
Yeah.
I hope. But I think something's going to fucking happen.
But, I mean, guess what happened after that fire happened and all those people lost their homes and shit?
Oh.
All these people that were wealthy bought land.
Well, yeah, the conspiracy...
They want to build their beachfront properties and
right.
shit. And
the conspiracy theory was that a bunch of developers were trying to go in and buy these people's houses. And so they told them to get fucked. And they said, no, we're not going to let you buy this, because they wanted to build like a resort or some shit.
Yeah, because like Oprah bought, I don't know how many acres and shit. I think The Rock.
Yeah, and their houses, their neighborhood was untouched. It just didn't, the fire just magically didn't fucking go there. But it literally destroyed. They're like this hole amongst all the shit that was destroyed. And now all those people's lands are essentially worthless. And so these developers come in. They're still doing it. They're saying, oh, hey, we'll go ahead and, your insurance policy says they're not going to cover this? Oh, man, that sucks. Oh, that's because we own the insurance company. We told them we're denying all your coverages.
Give you $3 million.
And listen, we'll give you guys, hey, we'll pay you the fair market value we were going to pay you beforehand for this thing that's worthless. You just sign over the rights because you still own the dirt, but you just sign over this dirt to us, and at what we were going to pay you originally, even though it's worth nothing. Now they look like they look like good guys because they're helping these people out. But no, they fucking probably did this all along and planned on this, and so that they could buy the land and then they could do what they want with it. So fucking shitty and sketchy.
Oh, I think something else in that article that I read was I don't think people were too pleased that Mark Zuckerberg was, taking this land and building a bunker or whatever. So now they've been serving the community, surrounding it, being the kind philanthropists that they are. Yeah, so they can grease
the fucking wheels.
Yeah,
man, just the level of fucking corruption, man. It's so fucking high. It's insane. And just imagine when none of this shit matters, when society breaks down and someone like that is hiding in their bunker while the rest of us are out here killing each other for food and fucking water and shelter.
For something they probably caused because they're billionaires.
Right.
I mean, shit. Amazon, again, probably have the most vehicles on the road at this point.
Hell, it could be a fucking financial meltdown. We could have the Great Depression 2.0 that fucking causes this thing to happen.
Enron 2.0.
Yeah.
Billionaires fucking jacking all the money or running away, taking people's retirements and just being
just being like, see ya.
Yeah.
And, if enough of us don't band together and stop some shit or do something about it, then it's just going to happen. And then we're all going to kill each other, and then fucking they'll come out ahead in the end.
Yeah.
Which is why when the collapse does happen, if you're out there and you're listening, don't fucking be an asshole, all right?
Don't be an
Because
asshole.
remember, if that guy you're going to go steal food from or kill isn't a millionaire,
he's your brother.
Yeah, you should be figuring out a way, hey man, let's get enough people together to go fucking get the millionaires, all right?
Yeah, dude, that should be everybody's prime motivation.
Yeah, it should be. Hey, you know what? Yeah, fuck the corporations. Let's go steal all their shit. Let's go loot all the stores. Yeah, fuck it. There's no power. Let's take all the TVs and fucking let's burn them. Who cares? Fuck, do whatever we want. Let's just destroy them.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck the corporations. Let's take all the shit. Fuck the government. Let's break into all the National Guard armories and fucking steal all the shit. All right? And then let's find the billionaires and be like, hey,
knock it off.
Why'd you fucking do this?
Yeah.
Please stop. And if you don't stop,
give us your money.
Yeah.
Or give us your resources.
And give us your resources, because fucking money ain't worth anything.
Yeah.
So give us your resources that are worth something. And we'll let you walk on out of here. And then, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So
equalize the playing field.
Yeah. So and that's what they fucking want is for us to be against each other and at each other's throats. They want us to be divided. They want to divide us into all these little fucking groups by color, religion, fucking orientation, gender, whatever. They want to just put us in these little groups where there's so many little fucking like they want to put me in the straight white ginger male group, right? Well, there's like 9 guys in that fucking group, okay? There's not a lot of us. So if there's only 9 of us and we're fighting, the Hispanic fucking straight males, well, we're just gonna be fighting each other. If we banded together and increased our numbers, then we could do some real shit. We could do some real damage. It's like with gangs. If gangs in LA,
prison culture.
Yeah, well, it's like that. But prison culture. But if the whites and the blacks and the Hispanics would join forces, they'd run the prison. They could escape the prison. But that's what keeps them behind the bars and in the walls, is because they fucking are constantly killing each other. And they can never get an organized front. So if they could just band together, they could kill all the guards. They could fucking take that shit over. It wouldn't be hard to do. What are you going to do?
Same case for the end times.
Yeah, same case for the end times. It doesn't matter what you look like. We should be segregated based on money, based on wealth. That's what we should be based on. Segregated. If your net worth is under $1 million,
we're going after you.
No, if you're under $1 million, you're on the team. Yeah, you're on the team.
I thought you said over.
No. If it's over $1 million, you're on the list. All right. You just made the list.
You just made the list.
So, fucking your ass is grass, as you were about to say.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, that more or less wraps up the episode. Just kind of a few interesting events involving billionaires building fucking multi-million-dollar underground homes,
bunkers, if you will.
Tech billionaires buying massive amounts of land so that they can build cities and farmlands and just weird shit, man. I mean,
really weird.
Don't know what else to add other than that. Just a little concerning. It already makes me feel like we're probably behind. We are well behind. Things unfold, and we're not really going to be prepared for it, or a lot of people aren't going to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
So,
True story.
Anyways, I mean, shit. If you're listening, build 6 months worth of food and water.
Yeah, and like I said,
we're not enemies. We're the billionaires are the enemies.
Yeah, the billionaires are the enemies. So fucking, join up. Join
the Game Rage.
Join the Game Rage anti-billionaire squad.
Yeah.
And donate money so that we become billionaires, and then we will become the enemy one day.
Yeah.
What's that? You either live long enough, or you either die the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anyways, all right. Well, fucking, that's pretty much the end of it. So, go fucking just follow us, do whatever. I don't care. Like Adam always likes to say, I'm not your supervisor, so fucking do what you want. Fucking, thanks for listening, though. Again, shout out to Belgium. Shout out to the CIA also, who listens for sure to CUP. All right. Probably our second number 2 listeners, CIA, just below Belgium.
Yeah.
So good on you. Thanks for listening. And also, if you're in the CIA and you know some shit's coming, maybe shoot us a fucking DM, all right? Just let us know some shit's about to go down. That's all you got to say. You know what? This will be a code word. Just say the bananas are not ripe, and then we'll know, it's about to happen.
The keks are buttered.
No, yeah. The keks are buttered. Just say that. Say the keks are now buttered, and that will be our keyword. If I get a DM that says that, we're fucking going to the woods, all right? So, anyways. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
That was the latest episode of the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. We're also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com.